Hello, my name is Alun. My pronouns are he, him, and today I'm facilitating the second of a series of 4 sessions of Rapscallion. This is from Magpie Games. Um, and we're not going to mess about with too much of the introductions. The characters will introduce themselves as time proceeds. Um, but just to summarize where I think we got to, and because I'm very proud of the map, um, this is where we're playing. This is the Archipelago. It is sandwiched between the Empire to the east and the far reaches to the northwest. The dotted line represents the first chapter of our story, that the journey of the Goose, the voyage of the Goose, our ramshackle ship and its crew, from a place where it surfaced from the Hell's Gate, and where that surfacing rescued our characters who were in difficulties. Um, it then set off to Scaravia, the pirate town. We can see the detour it had to make around the storm that is pursuing Einar, our navigator. Um, and I've also added the Leviathan that the last time you checked was following you. Um, uh, and the dotted line ends at Scaravia, and that is where we will kick off today. Um, I did mess up a bit last time, in as much as I did not deal with XP. So from now on, the characters will add 1 XP whenever they fail, but I'm going to give all the characters 2 XP on the basis that they failed at least once, and I owe them one. And we're going to treat the end of that session as the end of a chapter. So at chapter's end, ask the group, have you defeated an important foe, claimed a great treasure, or accomplished one of your crew's goals this session? If so, declare this the end of a chapter. Now, I am going to declare this the end of a chapter. I expect you to act in ways that will generate chapters as quickly as you like. But I think that you successfully worked out the mysterious locked treasure chest that the Goose surfaced from hell with. I think you worked out enough about that to proceed to the next chapter, which is at Scaravia. So I count the end of a chapter. At the end of a chapter, each PC replenishes all their bonds. So increase all your bonds to the maximum. And then chooses 2 of the following options, or the same one twice. You can mark XP, you can mark 2 luck, or you can heal 2 harm. So, I mean, any thoughts on that? Lowell, what's Gloria going to do you think?
I already have 2 luck because I am a lucky person, so I don't need to mark any more of that. I think I will take the 2 XP. That should make me 1 shy, and I'm sure I can screw something up so that I can get in advance.
Okay, so you are sitting on 4 XP. Another one will give you your first advance.
I had 1 before, so
Ah,
I got 2, so I'm at 5, and 1 more because it's 5 plus current level, right?
oh yes, and your current level is 0.
Oh, it's 0? I thought, oh yeah. Oh no, then
Bingo.
s sweet.
What about Callum, Jose? How do you want to use this end of chapter move?
So my understanding was that we each had got 2 XP from last time, right?
Yeah,
And then and I could take another 2, right?
yeah, if that's what you want.
If
Or you
that's
could,
what I
or you could take 2 luck, given you don't start the game with any.
want.
I'm just saying.
Right. I know. I get it. And that would be luck, an accumulation of luck that I could then spend. 2 luck
Exactly.
that I could spend at some point. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I'm going to go ahead with the XP. So that'll bring me, I think that brings me to 4.
Okay. Okay. And what about you, Sabine? What about Einar's choice?
Yeah, I got one during the session, I think, and then I got 2, and then I got 2 more, and then I've got 5. So I get the advance, I guess.
Okay. And finally, Dom, what about Ishmael?
I'm in the same thought process. Both Lovell and Sabina think that take the XP, which should, if the math checks out, should bring me to an advance.
Okay. I like to see advances. Don't feel obliged to take them immediately. You can give it some thought and declare one when the time comes.
Wait, quick question. How did everyone get to 5 and I didn't get to
Yeah,
5?
I don't understand that. I think you got to 5 as well.
Yeah, I think we
did.
started with 1 XP.
I think I gave you
Everyone.
1
Started with
XP.
1.
Yeah.
Oh, we started with 1. Okay, that would
Yeah, I
be.
think
And then
so.
I've been generous.
Yes,
Got it.
thank you.
All right.
Where would we find our advancement options?
Oh, that's a good question.
Alan?
That's a very good question.
If you say in the book, I can look at that, but maybe
Yeah, no,
something hidden.
yes.
It's a move on
Basic moves, I think.
basic
Okay.
moves.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, there it is. I
Oh, yeah,
found
it
it.
is. Yeah, because I thought I'd put something down there on that. Every time you level up, you can pick one of the following: +1 to a trait, up to 3 times. Gain 1 bond with a relevant person or your ship. Take an unmarked playbook move, or gain an additional oddity when narratively justified. I'm not sure anyone has the narrative positioning for a new oddity, but who knows what's around the corner. Okay, so give some thought to that. If you decide to put that into a trait, then the first time you use that increased trait, then that's a fixed point. But you can hang on to the potential playbook move to a point where you think it might be useful. Okay, well, I think then we will begin play as you have docked the goose. And again, it's interesting reading the rules when you have some characters in front of you. Your size 6 lackeys could be up to 100 people. So the goose is an enormous ship.
Ooh.
I added a picture of the NPCs to just show this enormous group of people. So, crew are streaming off the goose to go and enjoy themselves in town. Our Chirurgeon last time managed to treat them so they weren't weak. Jose, you made a comment half between sessions about whether having paddle wheels on the side didn't quite go with the setting. I wondered if we might go for oared galleon, because then that would explain why we've got so many people aboard. Any views?
Makes sense. The Turks were using that up until, Elizabethan age. So
Yeah. So
Okay.
multiple ranks of oars as well as sails. But yeah, the goose is bigger than I think our mind's eye was sucked into the idea that ramshackle equals rowboat. So with that in mind, so this enormous galleon has docked at Scaravia. Tell me something. What does Ishmael already know about Scaravia?
No, they know what's Scandinavia. I think perhaps, I guess just to help me head down, we already established that Scandinavia is kind of like a pirate haven, correct? It's
Yep.
Ludwig Pass, right? Then I think because it's Ludwig pirate, it's governed by the pirates. It's more like a coalition of sorts that can just helps run the place. So I think maybe is a thing that Ishmael knows is that perhaps there's a power struggle currently ongoing between different pirate crews that wanna become the new head of the coalition.
Okay, I like that. So we've got a captain's council of some description, and there might be some tensions in there. I like that. Einar, what do you know about Scaravia?
They have a large cathedral of the cult of the Kraken.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you can see the priests. They have tentacles. Occasionally, you can see them peeking out from beneath their robes.
Deep
they-
cowled hoods.
Yeah, but they claim they do not have tentacles. That would be weird, right?
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
The cult of the Kraken. Callum, who do you know here?
I knew someone.
Go on.
Um, her name was Auntie Beth. And she was kind of a fortune teller, kind of in the city, um, in the docks somewhere. Um, and she is the one that lured Callum into the hands of the Eye Below,
Ooh,
with promises of reuniting him with a deceased lover,
yes.
if he would go through the ritual. But Callum hasn't seen her again. He doesn't know whether she's here or not. So he might be motivated to try to find her out because now that he knows that she blackmailed him, or not
Okay.
blackmailed, I'm sorry, double crossed him.
Okay.
That's the
And
correct term.
and finally, Gloria, is there anything you want to add to that? That ending?
Yeah. I have been imagining that the city does abut against either a cliff or a mountainside, like there is a natural feature that's beside. And I think that there is a cave sort of towards the back of the city that has been converted into a very exclusive sort of tavern for people who have been unluckily touched by the unnatural. Like to get in, you have to show your weirdness in order to make your way in there. Your flowing ink tattoos or your tentacles under your priest robes or whatnot to get let in.
Or your mother's skull?
Yes.
Yeah, and we all know Ishmael is odd. I am curious. I am going to come back, Ishmael, to how what does not quite living and not quite dead look like? So, this is the place that we've arrived at then. I see it as a fairly ramshackle town, I'll be honest, rather than a city. I cannot get out of my head the sense of pirate towns in Black Sails, if you remember that TV. So yeah, there's everything from lean-tos to quite substantial structures, and it abuts this cliff with a a cave. This cave. You can tell me later what the tavern is called. Um, I put it on the map because I liked it. Was that there is also a large ship that is beached here. It couldn't sail again, but it is the home of the Captain's Council. This is where council meetings are held. So, with that in mind, we are in downtime. So, Jose, you expressed a view between sessions of some quality time with one of the other characters. Who does Callum take with him in search of Auntie Beth?
I would say the Rots crop. I like it. I'm wondering whether, because I know that Ishmael has an interest in the soul amber. Is that what it's called? Sunken soul amber?
Yeah.
Um, and and I assume he knows that the eye below has access to it. Um, uh, so I'm wondering whether Callum has approached Ishmael. I'm not sure he trusts Ishmael completely because of the whole blinding of Einar, but he sees him as a potential ally in trying to get access to the Eye Below. And so he says he would have. Oh, Ishmael's a she. Sorry, you're right. Ishmael. So maybe we could play that out of the approach, or we could set it up.
Well, let's do you do that? There you are on the dockside. That's where I've
Right.
got you to.
Okay.
Make your approach, Callum.
And so as Ishmael, I guess I see Ishmael coming out of the boat onto the docks, um, and Callum approaches her, and says, "Surgeon, are you still in search of the soul amber?"
I'm always on the search for it. It is the most valuable material.
Maybe we can work together. The eye below has soul amber, and I have business with the eye below.
I guess before we just establish how much of like Callum's past would like Ishmael know? Like would Ishmael know that Callum's a part of the eye below? What was past of the eye below?
Let's say that you do know you know that I've been marked by the eye below, um, uh, and the tattoos maybe. Maybe you know that I've been marked in some way by the eye below. You might not know the whole backstory. Um, uh,
Like, and just one thing would Ishmael recognize that Callum is not happy with the eye below, or would he just be like, we don't know like the nature,
I
like
will
the current nature
remind
of the
you.
relationship?
I will remind you that Callum is currently carrying the trouble pissed,
Yeah.
compelled to get violent when your
Oh.
temper is set off. So I think it's difficult to tell whether it's the eye below or just the world.
Okay,
but
good point.
you were
Good point.
asking, I think you were asking whether you know Callum's feelings about the eye below. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Think Ishmael just like look at him back. I'm not one to aid in petty revenge, but if you would give me what I'm looking for, then why not?
Well, I don't know if my revenge is really my motive, but be that as it may, I believe our goals are aligned. I know there's an agent of the eye below here. I know because I've had commerce with her before. And Breath. And she's, oh wait, what was the name of the place? The Rot's
Scarabian?
Crop.
Oh,
The
the
Rot's
Rot's Crop.
Crop. I first met her at the Rot's Crop, but I haven't seen her again since let's say she double-crossed me. Got me into something I wasn't ready for. Tempted me with an offer that she never came through on. So I have a beef with Aunt Beth. If I rough her up, then maybe we can both find out something about the eye below. Agreed?
As I said, your revenge has nothing to do with me, but I'll make good use of it. Let's just hope that your Latin luck has turned around.
Well, for the moment, we're in agreement. Shall we? To the Rot's Crop.
And you head off towards this cliff that dominates the settlement. Einar, what about you? Have you got any thoughts about how you're going to spend your downtime?
Um, well, I mean, it's a downtime thingy, right? There are downtime moves,
There are.
so
So
ooh.
if you want to if you want to tell me what you're going to do that would lead to one of those moves, then
Yeah.
we'll get the
Let me,
narrative first.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, but I'm looking for ideas what Einar would do. So I think, well, I mean, we're here to find out about the chest, right? But I've already investigated the chest. Somebody else can do that right now. No, I think I want to go out and find some people maybe at the waterfront to do what? To gamble maybe or to just carouse. But the thing is
Browsing is expensive.
yeah.
Gambling can be
Yeah.
profitable.
So I think it's gambling that I gotta do, or maybe I just want to no, I want to gamble. Gambling is fine. I will go and gamble. Maybe I'll have some luck. And if not, well, that's
Okay.
also good because, I've been unlucky in love, which I will tell people because, I mean, the sea doesn't really understand me.
I mean, I will remind you all before I come to Lowell and Gloria Song that you know of someone called Threadbare Roger,
Yeah, I know,
who
but
is who you think might be able to help you with this mysterious treasure chest.
yeah, I know, but I thought we were doing downtime now. This is not downtime.
Yeah, well,
That's
I'm just looking at make dubious friends.
yeah, I was wondering about that, but I'm not that polished. I think I want to get. I think Einar has like, okay, we're on land now. Land is weird. Einar does not like land, so they'll find maybe one of the boats that holds a gambling place, which is still on the water,
Yeah,
and then go and find somewhere where he can play for something other than gold.
yeah. The captain's table. The
Okay,
captain's table is a
perfect.
gambling den in the lower decks of
Okay.
the ship where the the captain's council meets. So
Oh,
put
I hope it's not too fancy because I can't have mirrors there, you know.
well, we find out.
Okay.
Uh, what about Gloria Song?
Well, I think that I am certainly going to go and make some dubious friends. Absolutely. I'm ready for that. Looking around for Threadbare Roger or anyone else, with a stout heart and a hot bod, I'm looking for.
Now, I am curious. We created a tower just across a little strait from Scaravia. And the suggestion was that there were some scholars or people who knew stuff there. What I was never quite certain about was whether Threadbare Roger was one of them.
Oh, I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think they
Oh
let
yeah, he
Threadbare
was.
Roger in. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that last time Alan asked me for one name of one of those scholars, and I popcorned the question to you, and you said Roger. So you know,
Okay, so I will avoid the scholar thing and Threadbare Roger and just look for other folk.
Fair enough. So let's start with that. Where are you looking? What kind of people is this? You know, what passes for the upper class here? Is this some dive? What's
Now, I think we're somewhere in the middle. I've got some money. So, that is certainly a lubricant to what we're doing here.
okay?
And uh let me look here at the move really quick. Uh I think part of what I'm doing is, talking about this weird storm that came up and we don't know why it came up and it seems very strange and what do people know and using that as our wedge in.
Okay, let's have you roll plus polish then.
Okay. I will spend a point of luck before I roll to
Okay,
take my polish to a 1. And let's roll. I've got these dice here in my roller. So that's a 7 plus 1 is 8.
8. So on an 8, on a hit, tell the fates what small favor they're willing to do for you. On a 7 to 9, the fates will tell you what they expect of you in return. So you tell me what favor you want. I mean, you've told me the question you want asked. How precise an answer do you want?
Yeah, I guess my answer is I'm assuming that they're not going to know exactly what I want, but I want them to uh, point me in the direction of and give me a letter of introduction to the person who will be able to answer the question.
Okay. Okay. Then that suggests this is a reasonably respectable person. So I think maybe you are inquiring of a local, maybe there is a school mom here, who runs a
Ooh, innocent. I like that. Go on.
innocent school mom, and Miss Bell is her name,
Of course
um,
it is.
and Miss Bell appears to be anything but dubious, and she says, "Well, um, I mean, I suppose that there are many odd storms people report. I read a book about it once, um, and you know the sea is alive, don't you?
That I've heard, yes.
Um, then really, um, the best place to ask that question is the tower yonder.
Oh, scholars.
Well, scholar is how they would describe themselves.
And how would you describe themselves
Well,
or them, my fair
they're a
lady?
rather disreputable lot.
Oh, interesting.
Because do you notice the tower? It has a very different vernacular architecture to anything else in this part of the world.
Leans a little too as I'm looking at it.
Does indeed. And that's very strange. It's everyone tells me that it was here long before Scaravia, long before New Haven was established. It's a very old place, and a
Is there,
little bit odd.
is there someone you know that perhaps you could direct me to speak to them amongst the disreputable who might be a
Well,
reasonably decent person to speak with?
well, I might be prepared to do that, but I
Perhaps a
would
donation to your school?
well, strangely,
Mm-hmm.
I have a need. Um,
Don't we all?
there is in the captain's table, at the captain's table, there is a plate
Mm-hmm.
with some fascinating inscriptions on it. Um, I would be very happy to help you if I could have a period of access to that plate.
I assume a rubbing won't do.
I would prefer to see the original, but a rubbing might suffice.
Well, let me assay the situation, Belle, and perhaps perhaps I might be able to do something.
That would be incredibly helpful. And were you able to, I would happily provide you with an introduction to someone who might be able to help you at the tower.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. And the other thing I wondered was at any time if you were in search of employment, my little ones, I do encourage them to take a wide view of their education. So if you feel you have something to offer in terms of a tutorial or a lecture, I would be very happy to give you that opportunity.
Certainly. And if they've ever want to serve on a ship, we've got a large and happy crew.
I shall certainly bear that in mind for the older ones.
Yes.
Um, while we leave Gloria thinking about obtaining the captain's plate, um, Einar, uh, where do I see you? Set me a scene for your gambling.
Yeah, I think this is as you said, the captain's table. So it's I think it's at the bottom, nearly in the belly of a ship, that old ship.
Mhm.
It's in the belly of the old ship. Yes, that's where it is. There's a lot of wall hangings and stuff there. Shiny, maybe sabers and stuff like that, but nothing like a mirror. Not quite. And and I think Einar walks in and feels the swaying of the sea and gives a grin, like, yeah, this is gonna be my lucky day.
And I think I'd go further and say it's down there in the bilges. And when this thing
Yeah.
grounded, the very bottom is full of water. So
Mhm.
these lower decks are by way of a series of platforms suspended above the water. And
Ooh,
there are various
cool.
games of chance. Which game
Nice.
of chance would interest you, Einar?
I think something that has at least a little bit of skill, not just luck, but not just skill, because,
A game of
um,
cards, perhaps?
game of cards, yeah, blackjack or something like that. And I will have something to drink, please. Some vodka, moonswill, what have you.
I think that there's an encouragement for people new to town to be given a drink,
Yeah.
um, and some salted octopus.
Never been here before. don't know blackjack. It sounds fascinating.
So yes, the game proceeds.
Mhm.
Who's the most dangerous person at the table?
The most dangerous person at the table is, I think it's Peg Leg Molly. She's she's sitting down, so you don't see her peg leg, and she wears a floral kind of dress, like with a lot of ruffles and things like that. And she's like, "How many cards do I have now? So many. Is that a blackjack?" And I mean, nobody buys it, but it seems to bring her joy.
Fine.
She's
So
also dangerous because she is the captain of a vessel, and she has her crew. So if she gets annoyed, you know,
yeah, so she's a member of the Captain's Council.
yeah, yes,
Okay,
she is.
let's have you roll to gamble with her. Then roll plus Spitfire.
Okay. There's my order. These are my dice. That's a 6 plus my Spitfire. That's a 7.
Okay, so on a hit, take 2 treasure in winnings.
Ooh.
Take an additional treasure if you piss someone off. Do you want to piss off
Of
Peg Leg
course.
Molly?
Yes, of course I do.
Okay, so take 3 treasure.
Where do I put my treasure?
I don't know. Put it down in
Okay.
the notes
I
somewhere.
put it in the notes. That's fine.
I think it might be in belongings. There might be another belongings. I think that's where.
Yeah, that's a
treasure
good
is. Yeah.
place. And there's yeah, I think I piss off Molly because I do the same thing. Like, ooh, is that a card? Actually, I might overdo it a little.
And she
No.
clearly dislikes, you see her eyes narrowing as the game
Mhm.
proceeds. And she has taken a dislike to you, Einar.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm not taking her gold because of the gold, but I'm taking something that she actually likes, that she put up, like a Scrubshaw amulet. And she was pretty sure she'd win this. And I won it, and I was like, nah, keep your gold. I'll just take this.
Okay. Let us cut then to Ishmael and Callum, heading to the what do we call it? The
Rot's crop.
the rots the rots crop. The rots crop at the back of town, cut into the cliff face. And there is a large ogre of a man
The
on the
bouncer.
front, at the front of this, sat on a stool with a jug of ale, and clearly this is the doorman. And you know, Callum, that access to the Rots crop is not easy. You have to be odd.
Right.
So, how does Callum demonstrate that he is odd enough?
I think so. Callum and Ishmael are walking together, right?
Yeah.
I think Callum comes straight up to Mr. Ogre, um, um, and the ogre grunts, perhaps. And I
Let's call
think
him OG Evans.
OG Evans.
OG to his friends, of which you are not necessarily one.
Not necessarily a friend of his.
So
although
Mr. Evans looks you up and down and says, "What do you want then?"
And then I think Callum just begins to unbutton his shirt, and expose his chest. And doing it kind of slowly, and as if there's something special that he's going to expose. And then once his shirt is open, then we see the tentacles of the tattoo, the wayward tattoo, crawl across his chest, peek out from underneath the cloth, and then come back in. And Callum just raises his eyebrow.
And I think he raises his eyebrow back as if to say, okay. Ishmael, I've asked you to think about this. You are neither entirely dead nor entirely alive. What does that look like on screen?
So I think that this looks like he is after Callum was done being checked over, it's Ishmael, so Ishmael kind of walks up, like does not like say a word to OG Evans, just kind of like also like opens up her shirt. Like imagine she was like sort of like coat and just just puts her arm in a coat, just opens it up and reveals that essentially her torso is kind of like basically like ripped open. Like you can like see the rib cage, you can like see the innards, the like the liver, the lungs, the stomach, all of it. It's like slowly like pulsing, like
Yeah,
the organs pulse, but yeah, they like slowly pulsing. There's like this like all sheen of water over it, and imagine that a lot of it looks like a bit eaten, like a corpse that's gonna be like left out. Oh, and like picked apart just a bit by like some animals. And just like
well,
just reveals that and then just like continues to like have it open, showing it to OG Evans until she gets like the go ahead to move in.
yeah, I think that gets both OG's eyebrows up. And he says, "You'll do," and nods you in.
Yeah,
Uh, Now the rot's crop, it's cut into this cliff face. Very little natural light. Suits a lot of the people who hang out here because they are a weird bunch. Um, what does Auntie Beth look like? How will we spot her if she's here?
So I imagine Auntie Beth is a big woman. And she wears some kind of turban, with kind of um, braids peeking out in random fashion from the turban, sticking
Yeah.
out. So she has kind of a matronly look to her and a very loud and imposing voice. So she garners attention where she goes. She's not a wilting flower.
Okay.
If she's in a room, it wouldn't be hard to spot her. Um,
Okay, that
but
works for
yeah,
me. She isn't there.
yeah.
Um, so how are you going to make use of your time at the Rot's Crop? Or do you want to abandon the Rot's Crop and go elsewhere for a downtime move?
You're speaking to me directly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. I think as we enter, um, Callum turns to Ishmael and says, "I'd never quite seen your body before. Unusual. Are you altogether well, Ishmael?"
that's a prosperous question. I'm better than ever.
I'll take your word for it. Um, we may have different strategies for how to approach this task, but I see in the back there someone who associated with Auntie Beth, wondering if I can convince him to give me some information on her whereabouts, since clearly she's gone underground. How will you approach things?
Well, if I've been taught anything, it's that everything begins with a nice gesture.
What do you do, Callum, when somebody spills 2 jugs of ale over you?
I think there is only very few things that Callum could do in a situation like that, considering his condition. He'll start a fight. He
Get in,
roars
please.
out because he's already under pressure because thinking about what's stalking the goose, and he roars out and and pushes. Is it a server or a patron?
Does it
It doesn't
matter?
matter who it is. Whoever it is going to get pushed straight down against the wall, against a kind of rough wall. It's kind of a cavern kind of wall, and
Okay, let's let's
and
let's let's see how this goes. But I do want to know from Ishmael, what do you do when Callum gets into a scrap?
I think like from the moment the like aerials were like I guess poured over Caleb until this beginning of the fight, Ishmael was completely uninterested. Like it all happened and Ishmael just kind of watching like uninterested, a bit like a bored look, just like okay. And I think maybe like as the fight starts, Ishmael kind of just yeah, this is going to take a while, and it just casually like strolls off further
Well,
into the
that's
bar.
that. Let's see what happens in the fight, Ben. You can tell me what you do next. So it's disinterested or interested observation. Callum, let's have you to roll to get into a scrap. When you get into a scrap, roll plus blood.
okay. I think I'm going to roll physical dice. I don't have much luck with that dice
Okay.
roller. All right. Oh, I don't have
Snake
much luck
eyes.
here either. That's a 4.
Oh, well, mark XP.
Yes. Oh, I mark XP. Great.
On a
Constellation plays.
on a hit, deal your weapons harm to your opponent. 7 to 9, your opponent may respond how they like. Where's 6 minus gone? Oh, in which case that's just up to me.
Oh.
I think that as you push this person up against the wall, OG Evans picks you up by the scruff of the neck and throws you out of the tavern.
Oh,
Well,
Ishmael, that's what happened while you were watching. What do you do now?
Seeing that the commotion has died down, Ishmael will continue to move further into the bar, and I guess I'm gonna use my downtime action to investigate.
Investigate. Let's have you investigate. Um, Now, Callum, while Ishmael's inside and investigating, and Gloria is considering how she's going to steal something from the captain's table, and Einar is wondering perhaps how to make a safe retreat out of the captain's table. Um, Callum, you are very angry indeed. Um, the only way to stop being angry at this point, your piss trouble, is to take a breather. But I'm inclined to say that your first reaction is to rush back into that inn, into that tavern. How dare that buffoon throw you into the dust? But I'll leave that to you. While Ishmael, how are you investigating, Ishmael? Are you picking on someone to ask questions of, or what?
So let me just quickly go over what's in my inventory just in case that gives me any idea. Yeah, okay, so I think what's happening is because this is a tavern, a bar, place of merry-go-round drinking, Ishmael can I just walks up to the counter and just like orders a drink and can I just, I guess, eyes up anyone in the rotoscope that looks like they may have a tangible connection to the eye of what's it they call again?
The eye below.
The eye below.
Okay, let's have you roll plus vinegar and see how whether anything bobs to the surface.
Let's see, okay, it's not. Let's do this one. That's a 7.
Okay, on a hit, ask 2. What can I learn about? Where can I find? How could I get something to something? And what are the hidden dangers if I?
Okay, I guess the first question would also be where can I find I've forgotten him, Aunt Betty.
I think that where can you find um, at the Council of Captains?
Hmm.
Yeah. Second question.
I think I'm starting to see a pattern here. Let's see. And I guess what can I learn about the because I can establish that there's like a continuous power struggle going on in Scravia. What can I learn about the power the struggle for the power that would give me an edge?
Oh gosh.
If that's
Um,
not too
I think
much.
I think that's too much
Yeah.
for a weird inn that you've
Yeah.
just arrived in.
Okay, then I guess to rephrase that, what can I learn about the favorite to win?
I can give you that. Says the barman, if you want to put a bet, there's a book running over there, and Pegleg Molly is judged to be a certainty.
And I think
Would you like to
Ishmael,
make a wager?
oh, hatred. Ishmael can like pat down like a pocket, just like goes like, unfortunately, I do not seem to have any coin on me, but if you wish, I can leave a bomb. No, perhaps this is Volgraf.
I think probably they're interested in cash money.
Such a shame. There's so much you can do with a bomb.
Yeah.
And with that, Ishmael can like takes like the last swig in a veil, or the dam in this case, and then just heads out from the dot top.
Um, and that's when Callum bursts back into the tavern. How are you going to well no, let's cast this a bit wider. Um, Einar, is it you or Gloria Song who arrives at the Rot's Crop at the point when Callum is just winding himself up to burst back into the tavern?
I think that might depend on whether or not Einar is able to pull off a clever trick to get out of there without running into Molly's guys.
Well, that's my question, I suppose, is
Mm.
so that sounds like do you want to try a clever trick to
Oh, yeah,
avoid Molly's
absolutely.
immediate wrath?
I want to do that. Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
where's it gone? Use a clever trick. When you use a
Yes.
clever trick to seize the upper hand or avoid a sticky situation, roll plus vinegar.
Yeah, I think I don't have much vinegar. My vice is not, my trained eye is probably also not very helpful. I could raise my vinegar though, because I still haven't done my
You
advance
could,
yet.
you
I
could.
will. I
Okay.
think it's a good idea because that is also okay. I will put back my thingies and then I will roll. And just let me get out of there, please. Come on, dice. Can do it. No, you can't. It's a 5.
It's 5. Mark
Racking up the
XP.
XP.
Exactly
Yeah, oh,
so.
XP, cool. Thank you.
Um, I'll tell you where we next see Einar shortly.
Cool.
Gloria, um,
Yes.
do you want to be near the Rot's Crop when
Oh,
Callum
I
is winding himself?
absolutely. I think I'm contemplating the uses of dark magics to obtain my operative work. When Caleb comes flying out there, stands up, I see him brace in that way that says to me, "Hey, I'm going back in there." And I will say, "Oh, sweet darling Caleb,
Gloria. Oh,
can I have a moment of your time?
mm.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you."
He looks back into the rot's crop, and then he turns to Glorious like, for you, for you. I'll, yeah.
I
What do you need?
need someone to accompany me to
Well, hang on,
a
just before we get into that conversation, we have a rule. It
Oh,
says when you stand your ground in the face of a compel to go and thump somebody, in this
oh
case,
good.
spend a bond with someone, explain how they're inspiring you to overcome yourself, and roll flat.
so that's something that I do
That's something that you do to calm down.
to
Because then
calm
I will
down.
count you to have taken a breather and you
Uh-huh.
can untick pissed.
So a compel, just so that I understand that term, is
Is me telling you you're going to run back into
oh,
that?
you're the compel. Okay. You are the
Yeah.
compel, not Gloria.
Those
Okay.
troubles are your compels.
Yes. All right.
Uh,
So
it's
then
on the
there's
it's on the basic moves tabs. It's called Stand Your Ground.
basic moves. Stand your ground. When you stand your ground.
Now, this could be someone present or someone that you just conjure up. But you do need to have a bond with them. Now, I don't know where you stand in relation to Gloria.
I think I have a bond with Gloria. I think I have two bonds perhaps with Gloria. I'm not sure.
And I'm right there.
You're
And
right
you're right
there.
there.
So you
Yes.
spend a bond to access the move, and then there are some improvements. So you will roll plus. If the person inspiring you is right here, you get +1. If you spend an additional bond with them, you get to +2. And if you are facing your vice, you'd be at -1, but you're not there yet.
All right.
So
So, and do we want to, I'm sorry, play out that conversation just a little bit to
I would
know
love to see you
how
play out that
Gloria
conversation.
might be trying to
S-
soothe the beast?
I have to go someplace risky and a little bit dangerous for me. And perhaps say a project that will be a challenge, and I need someone to accompany me, and I could think of no one better but you.
A dangerous
Puts her
situation.
hand on your arm, you know, kind of just a little bit of a caress to say, please, I just need your help.
And then he looks over his shoulder back at the Rot's crop, and then he looks at Gloria. Mm. And then I will roll and see what
Thank
actually
you.
happens.
Thank you. So are you spending both bonds or just one?
So bonds renew at the end of a session. Is that
They
how they
do.
work?
They do.
Okay. I'll spend
Oh, yeah,
one.
they do.
Yeah. I'll spend one, and so it's just a +1 I'm
Just
rolling.
+1.
+1 for me being there.
Yes. But yeah, the first spend of bond accesses the roll.
Oh, okay.
Spend a
And then
second one, it earns you a +1. So you're
okay.
rolling +1.
Oh shoot! I got a 5.
Okay.
I guess the physical dice aren't doing as much for me.
Yeah, I think you're better off with the digital myself. Um, so that is
There's no way to bump up a roll after it's made, right?
that's a good
There
question.
is
Luck, isn't there? Doesn't
there
luck?
is spend a bond to help someone. You can do it afterwards.
Yes. So that's about.
But I can only modify it by 1, unfortunately, my friend.
So it won't be enough.
No, I have a 6 with
You
the
have a 6?
I
Oh,
rolled a 5, so I have a 6.
In that case, I will like kind of increase my pressure on your arm.
So yeah, I think he turns back towards and the Rot's crop, and he starts mumbling under his breath, but oh gee Evans. Oh.
Hey, we'll come
Yeah,
back to deal with them later
later.
when they're not expecting it.
You're
now.
always so smart, Gloria.
Spent my 1 to let you bump it to a 7.
And on a 7 to 9, you mark a trouble or give in to the compel, your choice. So pissed is going to go away, but the next one up gets marked.
So wait, so I'm confused now. So
Okay.
either
So if this had gone perfectly,
right,
you'd have taken a breather and you'd have cleared pissed. Yeah.
right. That didn't happen.
On 7 to 9, you are going to clear pissed, but it's bottled up inside you now. So instead of pissed, you now mark rash.
Oh, so I can have rash marked even though pissed isn't?
Yeah. Oh, well, that's my reading of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
It's
don't, I
it's
thought they
it's certainly.
stacked.
I think it's certainly the fun way to do it. I mean, to have you pissed and then to be stay pissed seems really dull.
That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So you can or you can give in
or
and
I can
charge
rush
into them.
back into the
Yes.
But I'll stay pissed in that case anyways, right?
No, you'll clear pissed. You will become rash.
No, but if I rush it back
Oh, if
into
you
the
rush
Rot's
back
crop,
in, yeah, you stay pissed.
I stay pissed anyways. Okay. So I guess I'll mark rash. I'll go with Gloria.
There we go.
There we go.
And that is the logical place for our first commercial break, I think. Should we take 10 minutes for this first one?
Sure.
Please.
Because I'm conscious it's lunchtime where you are, Jose, so
It
you might
is,
want
and
to
I have
get
to go
something
grab
eat.
lunch.
Okay. So I will see you at 10 past the hour.
Okay.
So I think I'm inclined to reframe, to hard frame us back together at this point, because I think apart from Einar, who I'm going to introduce in a moment, but I think that Callum and Gloria have headed down to this beached wreck that is where the captain's table and the captain's council meets. Ishmael, I think you've also made your way there because that was the suggestion that you got last from your investigation. And I think you all know that Einar was going to try and win some money at the captain's table. So with all that in mind, what happens next? Now, Gloria, do you share why you are here?
Before
No.
we move on, I just wanna mention that there is something that I forgot to do.
Oh, go on.
My signature playbook move, or I guess one of my two signature playbook moves, Alchemy, says that at the beginning of every
Oh,
session I
yes.
should roll plus vinegar, and I forgot to do that. So I should
So
do that.
let's do that now.
Also, just before I forget also, I've been looking a bit about luck, and it says that you can spend luck to take +1 forward, but it never specifies what forward means.
I mean, I know what it means in a apocalypse world sense. It generally speaking, it means +1 on your next roll or on a roll.
Yeah, that's how I read it when I spent my luck. I spent it before I rolled.
Yeah. So you spend a luck, you get a +1.
Wait, doesn't +1 forward meaning that you get +1 to all forward rolls in that scene?
Oh,
that
that's
how that works?
no, I think that's +1
No? Okay.
ongoing
Oh, okay,
in an
yeah.
apocalypse world.
Okay, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So no, let's do your alchemy
Okay.
roll. My
Yeah, okay.
apologies, I'd forgotten all about it.
Okay, I rolled. I got an 8 +1, that's a 9. And
9.
can I potentially spend a bond with the goose to bump it up to a 10?
Yeah, if you can give me a narratively justifiable sense of why you would.
Yes, I think for the goose is that because the goose is a ship, it's a like home base of operations. That's where Ishmael keeps all her chemical and surgical tools. But because we're not on the open sea or like on a desolate island, now like we're docked in a populated port with a lot of the people. I think Ishmael's kind of like, I guess, not exactly too worried, but kind of like skeptical that someone might hop onto the ship and maybe try to take something. So better to take
No, that's fair
a
enough.
few more.
Having your workshop there makes perfect sense. So spend that bond and up that to a 10 plus.
Yes, on a 10 plus, I can hold 2 alchemy items. And I believe I don't have to specify them yet.
No,
Okay.
you have hold 2, and it says you're having the following on hand when you need it. So that's great. So you've got several possibilities there. Okay.
Yeah.
So Callum, Ishmael, Gloria, you're looking up at this wreck, which is the ship, the Scaravia. It is the ship around which this town has congealed over the last 20 years. So I'm curious, as I say, Gloria, have you shared with Callum that there is something potentially a little tricky that you need to deal with? But are you sharing with Ishmael the actual objective or what?
With Callum?
Well, with Callum and or Ishmael. You've shared a bit with Callum in terms of, that I could use your
Okay.
help.
I will say, if we're at the captain's table, I will say, there is a plate that I believe, I'm assuming it's the bar owner or whatever has the plate, if that my assumption correct?
Bell told you it was at the center of the table around which the captain's council sits. The captain's table is the name of the gambling den.
Yeah.
The captain's council meets in the large room with those large windows around the back. The captain's cabin, enormous.
Right.
We expect.
So I will tell them they wish to borrow that plate briefly. So I have the means, if we can ascertain who would be the person I would ask to temporarily loan me it. We need to figure that out. And then I will ask them super nicely, and they will agree to do it. So your help in figuring out who it is I need to ask, preferably when the captain's council is not in session.
I return that the that scrap that the favorite to win this little petty match that the captains are having is one by the name of Pegleg Molly. Perhaps if you get on her good side, she might allow you to take the plate.
If she is the person that could do that, and you're certain that they have the capacity to do that, then when does the captain's council meet, Alan?
Well, I'm not sure anyone has asked that question of anybody who might know. We know that there is an election, or there is a process going on which will decide who is the head of the captain's council.
Well, I will just ask. I will say, gosh.
Well,
gosh.
yeah. So you're on the beach. You've had this conversation. The entry to the Scaravia, the wreck, this enormous ship, is cut into the side of the hull. And in there is the gambling den where Einar went. So that would be the logical place to make some inquiries, I guess.
Yes.
Because I now think downtime has finished. Yeah, because I think we've moved on.
That seems fair.
And
So
I think
when
I think as we're beginning to move towards the ship, Ishmael just turn to Callum and just say, "Oh, and I keep forgetting the name of the person you're looking for. Was it Aunt Betty? Was it?
Yeah, Auntie Betty.
Yes,
Yeah,
Auntie Beth.
Auntie Beth.
Auntie Beth. Yeah. So Ishmael will turn it to Callum and just say, "Oh yeah, and Auntie Beth supposedly somewhere within this ship."
So Auntie
Really?
Beth is here as well.
She's here.
That's what I learned from the that scrap, before you got thrown out.
Now, before I ask you whether you're going to stand your ground in the face of that incitement, Callum, I think that it's fair to say that I think as you enter the gambling den, there are a group of people hoisting someone up onto a beam hanging above the water that sloshes around the bilges of this ship. It is someone you recognize as Einar the Sea Talker. There are a group of ruffians hauling on the rope, and there is a kind of quite well dressed, but in a blousy kind of way, woman, with a peg leg that she deliberately hoists up one side of her skirt, so her peg leg is always visible. Um, it's so just saying. Let me come to Einar first, right? Einar, that was the consequence of you failing to come up with a clever trick. So what are you going to do, or what are you doing when the others, you see them upside down there?
Yeah, okay. I'll wave. I think like, and I'll say to the ruffians who are hoisting me up, can you swing me a little? This is kind of boring.
What is your intention here? Are you wanting to locate yourself somewhere particular, or is
No,
this some swashbuckling move you have in mind?
Yeah. Yes, I think what I want is for them to give me at least a little momentum, so I can swing myself up and then use my whatever. I do have a sort of a weapon, right? I mean, I'm a pirate.
Of course.
Gotta have some sort of a weapon. What do I have? I do have
It'll be in your
stuff.
belongings.
I have a crossbow. That is not very helpful, but I imagine us at least have a knife, right? Because everybody has a knife. We're not civilized.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering here where I can, when you break in or out, state your opening and roll plus blood.
Mhm.
I think you're trying to hoodwink them into
Yeah.
doing something that
Yeah.
will put you in a good position. Yeah.
That seems, I'm not trying to parlay.
I don't think so.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
I don't think they're interested
Okay.
parties.
No. Okay.
So
I
you
will.
want them to do something that they think is going to be really unpleasant,
Yes.
but
Yes.
you can see an advantage to it. So I think that's
Mhm.
hoodwink. When you
Okay.
hoodwink someone with a convincing lie or disguise, roll plus polish.
That's a 7. So
Okay. On a
probably
hit,
works.
they've bought your story for now. The Fates reveals a new opening or opportunity this gives you. And I think it gives you the fact that if you can keep this going,
Mhm.
you might be able to kind of latch on to the edge of a balcony above this space.
Yeah.
And then you'd be stable enough to maybe draw your knife. So that is the setup, that's the
Mhm.
opportunity.
Okay. Cool.
But I am curious, Gloria, in terms of your initially stated plan, does this in any way influence it?
Yes. I have two questions, if I may, before we proceed any further with this particular interaction. One is, you've described the captain's table as being in a room above this, correct?
The captain's council is up in the
Yes,
captain's
but and the table that upon which the plate
the
rests.
plate sits, indeed so.
So one would say, with the attention being placed upon my colleague Einar, that it would be the work of nothing to go and walk up to just maybe just get a glance at the plate.
Okay.
I will say to Ishmael and Caleb, I will say, I will be back in a moment. Make sure they don't kill Einar. And then
In
Now,
the moment, God like walks up, Ishmael just asks Callum, we could do that, or we could go look for Anti-Bet.
well, let me come to that in a moment because, Gloria, it seems to me that this is a clever trick to avoid a sticky situation, unless you have a better offer for me. Did you think it was something else? What do you think?
wait, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to Einar. I apologize.
Oh, sorry, no, because I think you're trying a clever trick, which is to stay out of sight, use the distraction to discreetly find the stairs up.
That seems absolutely fair and likely not to be in my skill set. So, what is that rolled with?
That's roll plus vinegar.
How did I know that was coming? Let's see. Well, I'm going to keep my luck because I need to use that. So I'm looking forward to some XP. Let's roll these dice here. Roll 2d6 on my roller. That is 2 5s, so that is a 10.
Wow.
Minus 1 is a 9.
A 9. Okay, so on a 7 to 9, your tricks work, but there's a catch. The fates will tell you what it costs to follow through. I'd like to just leave that on the shelf for a moment.
Please,
to use
absolutely.
a phrase that someone once used on me.
Yes.
Callum, your friend Einar is being bullied by these thugs. Ishmael is saying something.
I can't hear what he's saying.
But I am tempted
I can just see red.
I am tempting to compel your rashness.
Well, yeah, considering that I am devoted to protecting Einar from harm.
Exactly so.
And I am rash at the moment.
So I would like to compel you to rush in recklessly and thoughtlessly as Ishmael just carries on talking.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, do I have to resist the compel?
Oh, well, that's up to you. I'm offering the opportunity here. I am putting the compel. You can stand your ground in the face of a compel.
Okay. And if I were to stand my ground, I just resist the compel.
Well, you spend a bond with someone, explain how they're inspiring you to overcome yourself, and roll blah. It's what you managed just about to do when Gloria talked you down outside the Rot's Crop.
If I don't resist the
Then
compel,
you're going to do something reckless and thoughtless, which
Yes.
seems to me to be rush that group of thugs holding the end of Einar's rope.
yes, that's exactly what has to happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just can't see. I can't see anything else happening.
The thoughtlessness of this means that you haven't quite thought through that if they let go of that rope, then Einar will fall. But
Yes.
let's worry about that in a moment.
Einar has momentum now, so he
He does have
might
momentum.
be able to swing
There
it.
might be an opportunity when that happens. But let's Callum, do you want to hold your ground against rushing in recklessly and thoughtlessly? While Einar swings and Ishmael babbles.
No, I'm charging the folks holding the rope. With a growl, he just and as Gloria slips off to do her thing, and Ishmael is talking, but I just cannot hear him, hear her. I'm sorry, and I just rush forward
and get into a scrap.
Get into a scrap again.
Now these are a bunch of lackeys, so you do enough harm, you could actually kind of just knock them out of the game. Peg-led Molly might be a bigger challenge, but you're focused on the folks on the rope.
The ones holding the rope, yes.
Yeah, so roll plus blood.
Okay, that time I got a 7, and then I have 2 blood, so that's a 9, I think. Yeah.
On a 7 to 9, your opponent may respond how they like, but you have the option: deal your weapons harm to your opponent, or deal half your weapons harm and pick one of the following. You see something from them, you force them into a precarious new position, you intimidate them and compel them to back off.
All right, so they may respond how they like. That's the difference between a 10 and a 9, and a 7 and 9, right? What's anti?
Anti is like advantage. It's positive fictional positioning.
So if I were to use, can I use one of my bonds with Einar to bump this roll, or that's not possible in this game? It is possible, because that would bring me to a 10, right?
Oh no, hang on. Let me just check that. Can you use a bond to do that, or do you have to use luck? You can spend one bond, help or hinder them or it. So you can spend a bond to help someone or to hinder someone,
but not to myself.
No.
And I spent a bond to help
yourself. Yes, you did, didn't you? You shouldn't have.
Huh?
You can spend a bond to help him.
Yeah, not myself. Do I have a bond? I don't have a bond with him, though. So I can't. We should have a
Right.
bond. I should have a bond with you, but I don't. I'm sorry.
So it
It's
looks like
true.
you're stuck on 9 unless you want to spend some luck.
I don't have any luck to spend. I'm
Oh, of
luckless,
course not.
remember?
I offered you the chance to accumulate some luck if you remember, but
I know
you
you
chose
did.
to
And
waste the opportunity on XP. So you rush into these guys. Which of those 3 options do you want to take?
let's see. Let me just look at them one more time. Basic move into a scrap. So these are lackeys, so they don't have, because my fists do 2 harm.
Fine.
So half of my fists would be, one of my fists would do 1 harm.
It would.
And
That's
then
going to
pick one
knock
of the
one of
four.
them out the game.
Okay.
Yeah. But you still could see something from them. For instance, the rope attached
The
to
rope, I
Einar,
could see the rope from them, yes.
or intimidate them and compel them to back off.
I
And
guess
not get the rope.
and not get the rope. Those are the 2 options, right? And
Don't
you're
worry.
swinging,
Don't
Einar.
worry. I got this. I
Einar
got
is
this.
confident.
Yeah.
Einar is confident. Okay. And yeah, I think narratively, it just seems like he would try to bowl them over like bowling pins,
And then think about the rope.
and then think about the rope. So I think
Fine.
maybe the one that makes them force them into a precarious new position. That might be interesting. I guess I'll just intimidate them and compel them to back off.
Fine. So they scatter. You punch one, and he tumbles off the platform into the bilges. Splash. And the others kind of leap backwards. And of course, the camera cuts instantly to the pulley, where we now see rope rattling through the pulley. Einar, you're about to drop.
Yeah.
What are you using this opportunity, this momentum, this swing for?
I mean, there's a chandelier, right?
There has to be a chandelier.
There has to be a chandelier. I will attempt at least to grab the chandelier and swing from it and maybe kick one of those ruffians in the head a little.
Well, let's get
fun.
you to the chandelier first, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Now this seems to me, I think this is a clever trick.
This is a clever trick. Okay, yep.
Isn't it? I mean, it seems clever to me.
Yeah, I'm not unleashing a magical power. Twist fate.
Unless you have a magical power.
Oh no, I don't want to. Don't want to turn into a narwhal just at this precise. I was thinking about it. If this goes wrong, I still will. But I could twist my fate. That's something. No, I don't think I. Okay, fine. I'm using a clever trick again.
I'm not even gonna charge you a luck for there to be a chandelier. There is obviously a chandelier.
I mean, this is a pirate thingy, right?
Of course.
So there's a chandelier. So I'm rolling.
How can you swashbuckle with a chandelier?
It's a 7. It's a 7.
A 7. Okay.
It's a 7.
So on a simple line, your trick works, but there's a catch. The fates will tell you what it costs to follow through. So I think that what it costs is some harm.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to apply 1 harm to you.
That's
because
fine.
I think what happens is you make it, but then one of your hands clutches one of the candles, not the pieces of wood between the candles, and so you're swinging by 1 arm, having taken 1 harm.
Still looks cool. As long as it still looks cool.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Nobody saw the candle, only we the audience.
Cool.
Gloria, you've made your way upstairs. But there is there you can hear conversation behind the rather grand door that clearly leads into what was the captain's cabin up here. You can hear conversation. That is the fly in the ointment. What do we see you doing, Gloria? Oh, you are muted.
I opened the door, poked my head in a very, very non-threatening manner, as if to say, "Oh, is this where the captain's table is?"
And 2 people turn towards you. One, difficult to see who it is because they're wearing a what seems to be some kind of waxed cloak poncho with a deep cowl. and another woman with a turban and braids. And they turn towards you, and she says, "Who the hell are you?"
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought the council was in session. I apologize. Uh, you're not sinister at all, so I'll just turn around and back down these stairs. I sincerely apologize.
And she raises an eyebrow and says, "You're not here to try to get the chair, are you?" And I think it's
Why
fair to
would I
say,
need did you say this before I say, why would I need a chair?
and what I will describe is that now that you look beyond them, you can see there's a large round table with a number of chairs, but one very ornate chair. And I will also tell you that in the middle of that table is a silver plate about so far across.
Okay. Just keeping an eye on that. But I'm acting like, geez, a chair? Ah, I don't need a chair. Maybe a
Oh,
hammock.
get you gone then.
Oh, I will
She
get me gone.
waves you
Get me
away.
gone. Nice to see you, sinister cowled person.
Ishmael, what do you do? Now, you've seen these events. Einar is hanging from that chandelier up there. Um, the rope is still attached to Einar's ankle, but is no longer grasped or probably graspable unless somebody climbs up to catch it. Callum has waded in and scattered these lackeys. Um, but you do notice that the woman with the peg leg is looking very angry. What do you do, Ishmael, if anything?
So I think like Ishmael kind of like is watching this whole like scene, and I think like maybe like for the first time like in like this series like in like the 1.5 episodes like that we had, we see like Ishmael just like how like just like this smell of like satisfaction of like like it's going to like be fun to like patch them up once they come back to the goose. But that's none of my business at the moment. And Ishmael kind of like goes back to like her kind of like story, like a deadpan, disinterested face, and with the commotion that Caleb has just created, Ishmael just walks up into the ship, the captain's council, and is going to look around and try to find
Well,
Auntie
okay, so
Beth.
you're going up. Fine, that's all I need to know at this point. Because everyone else in this gambling den, all the games have stopped and everyone's looking up and looking across. Um, Gloria, you're coming down the stairs, or are you? You closed the door and implied you
I
were
I
leaving.
am. I could have dealt with one person handily. Two people, more of a problem. So I am retreating back down the stairs to reconsider my options.
Well, you will meet Ishmael coming up towards you.
This seems like a joke.
I would What would be so humorous about the situation, Claudia?
Is Einar safe?
Ishmael kind of, I guess, takes out like a watch, just kind of looks at it a bit. I say give it about 5 minutes until something breaks and puts it
Oh,
back.
oh, all right. If you're heading up there, there are two people in there and they seem dangerous.
Oh,
And I'll head down.
well, before Ishmael says, does one of them and I give the brief description of Auntie Beth that
Turban
Callum,
and
yeah,
braids.
The turbaned woman? Well, yes.
okay. And Ishmael continues up.
When Gloria, you get down and you follow the stair down, and you come out onto the kind of balcony that surrounds the gambling den at a height, and before your eyes you see Einar hanging from a chandelier. You see Callum, um, you know, threatening and oh, sorry, you can clear Callum that trouble because you have got into bad trouble.
Is this bad trouble? I
This
wasn't
is
sure.
bad trouble because Gloria, what you see is something really odd. You see this peg-legged woman leaning on a chair and lifting her peg leg in Callum's direction.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
That
does
sounds like trouble.
does Einar see this? I mean,
I-
he's in a
I'm
good
happy-
position, right?
I'm happy for Einar to see it in a minute, but I want
Okay.
Gloria's reaction before I
Okay.
come back to you.
Okay, cool.
Well, I think I will open my infernal eye.
Ooh.
Ooh,
This is the first time we've seen
First
the infernal
time.
eye, I think.
cool.
So do you want to tell us what the special effects department needs to generate for your infernal eye?
I think it literally is that there is an eye that forms and appears on my head with that kind of reverse pupil iris. So it is, black with a white eye orb at the center. And I think that every candle in the room dims, and we hear a song, which is essentially the lamentation song of my dead siren mother, there, because I do accidentally release some of my demon's power.
So this sounds like Unleash Your Power to me.
Well, what it is whenever you unveil the eye for a brief instant, you may see the deep desires and dark secrets of everyone around you for free.
Oh, right. That you do not have to unleash your power. It's all there for you to see.
Right.
So what are
Now,
you
I have
focusing
come
on?
downstairs, so I don't think I'm going to get the people up there. But my most of my intention is to see the deep desires and dark secrets of my peg-legged friend.
Okay. I think the deep desire is to become the head of the captain's council and I think we see the vision you get, which is her looking smug, sat in the more ornate chair, almost throne that you saw up in the captain's cabin. Too many captains. Up in,
Yes.
yeah. Um, but there is bubbling in front of that an urge to see Callum's guts scattered across the room.
And dark secret?
Dark secret, she has bribed the Church of the Kraken.
Mhm.
And
I will say then, what
Mhm.
I would say as this and all this happens, I say I would avoid harming someone who represents the Church of the Kraken.
I think you're going to need to get the attention from up there.
Okay.
Because I think it matters. I am prepared to go with parlay.
Oh no, I've got an even
hoodwink.
better idea.
Go on.
So I spend my other point of luck, and I will essentially create an inferno of St. Elmo's fire around me.
Ooh.
That
Dangerous
gets a lot of
fire
attention.
area loud. I'm not trying to harm anyone,
No.
but I am making a scene as if to say you have crossed the Kraken.
Wow. Well, I think when you ignite, we cut to Ishmael upstairs. Because I think Einar, suddenly illumination from one side, the thugs that were kind of come back at you, Callum, suddenly they're looking up there, not at you. And we'll see what Gloria does with that attention in a moment. Ishmael, you get to the door that enters into the captain's council.
Okay. Now, before we move on, we cleared it up that spending bond does not, in fact, increase the die result. So that would mean that the bond I used would not work like that. So instead of a 9, instead of a 10, it would be a 9. So you get only one item from my alchemy.
Okay,
Just to clear that up. And yes, that
thank you.
gives back my goose. Okay. So I think, like, Ishmael knows that anti-bet is in this room. So I'm gonna use my whole from my alchemy skill and get one canister of sleeping gas. It's area sleep works on impact.
Fair
And how I
enough.
imagine that this works is Ishmael takes out this air gadget, and because it is supernatural, I think this like kind of sleeping gas, it's not necessarily a chemical mixture, but it's more of perhaps there's some kind of supernatural element to it, like some kind of, I guess, like some kind of deep sea creature that kind of like is like resides, like is like sleeping inside the canister, and each kind of just like it just shakes it to wake it up, so that this thing like kind of, I guess, starts to spew out this gas, and each one just kind of like open the door, throw in the canister, close the door, and then
Uh,
just kind of like lean against it while taking out the watch again.
so area sleep works on impact. I think I do want you to unleash your power here,
Ooh.
because this does strike me as your power. And I tell you now, Auntie Beth is going to go down like a sack of potatoes. But the more octopus-headed person under the cowl
Ooh.
may be less susceptible to sleeping gas. So let's have you unleash your power to see how well this goes.
Okay, that's door plus Spitfire.
Yep.
Okay, I should be good at this. Okay, that's an 11. That with my one, that's a 12.
Okay. On a hit, it does what you want, but exacts a personal cost or surges out of control. My choice. But on a 10 plus, you get to choose instead of me. So do you want this to exact a personal cost, or do you want it to surge out of control?
I mean, we already have like a flaming kraken downstairs. What could potentially go down with just adding sleeping gas that just goes out of control? Yeah, I think we'll have it surges out of control.
Okay, so it surges out of control. I think that's going to take both of them down, but I think that as the priest of the Kraken cult, which Sabine happily added to the local population, um, as they fall down, the hood falls back, and you see a human face surrounded by these tentacles. And and I think you are enthralled by it. You have a vice called enthralled. While enthralled, the fates may compel you to do exciting science at the risk of human life.
You say that that's like a downside to Ishmael.
Mm,
So bear that
fair.
one in mind. I will come back to you. Um, Callum, Gloria just burst into flame. Einar, Gloria just burst into flame. I'll start with Einar, because I think Callum's attention was principally on those people who were going to try and rush him. So Einar, what do you do? Oh, you want?
I'm not super surprised. I mean, Gloria always seemed like someone who burst into flame at the slightest provocation, right? But that is a good distraction. And I'm still on the rope. I will cut the rope and then I'll drop onto Molly.
Oh, yes.
I mean, she's probably distracted by this,
She
right?
is, because she's leaning on a chair with her foot in the air,
Mhm.
a peg leg in the air, pointing at
Yeah,
Callum, and now she's looking up there.
yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, she is very distracted.
okay.
Callum, you see Gloria burst into flame. What do you do in the moment?
And I see Einar has did Einar just drop to the ground? Is that,
Well,
or we
I
don't know
want to know
yet.
what you do when Gloria burst into flame.
Oh, when Gloria bursts into
And
flames.
now everyone's attention is now up there, including for the moment you, but you know.
So I mean, Callum's first intent was to protect Einar. All
Mhm.
right. So when Einar was hanging from the chandelier, I had a picture of Callum running around with his hands up, like trying to catch him. Uh, uh, um, um, But if Einar seems to be in control of the situation, because Einar swung around, kicked one of the lackeys in the head. Is that what happened?
No, Einar just
That didn't happen.
leapt for the chandelier and
Just leapt for the
has hung
chandelier.
from the chandelier and now got the second hand up and is hanging from the chandelier.
So he doesn't look good up there. No
He looks
flair.
perfectly fine. He's swinging
Fine.
from the chandelier. He seems to be having fun, actually.
So my question is, what do? You've got a bunch of lackeys who you
Yeah.
intimidated and drove away. They're going to come at you, but everyone at the moment were going to come at you, but now everyone is looking at Gloria.
I think he's going to pick up a bench and swing it around like a club to, like, again, tumble all the lackeys into submission.
Fine. I think this is getting to a scrap again.
Another scrap. Seems to be my
Unless
MO.
you've got a better offer.
No, it's a scrap. It's a
You
scrap.
know, if you'd gone for Fist of Power, we might have unleashed a power, but I fear that your mundane
Oh, my bench won't be. Oh, that's right. My fists are actually more powerful than a weapon, right? At the moment.
yeah, but I think the fictional positioning of sweeping them away is
better.
too good to miss.
It's too good to miss.
So roll plus blood.
All right, that's a 10 plus 1, I think, is my blood, is an 11.
So on a hit, deal your weapons harm to your opponent, or
Okay.
half your weapons harm, which will be enough to take out 2 of them. That leaves 2. And pick one of the following: seize something from them, force them into a precarious new position, or intimidate them and compel them to back off.
So if I just took the hit, I could deal my weapons harm to one of them, you mean?
Yeah. Well,
Right.
no, I think that their value is so low that you can knock 2 of them out with your bench.
Okay. Well, that probably makes sense then. Yeah, because I did the intimidate before.
You did.
So I'm imagining the bench comes around and knocks the 2 that are still standing off the platform, back onto their asses unconscious.
Fine, that works
But
for
I'm
me.
still in the sights of
You
Peg
are,
Leg
because I think when the swing comes around, when you stop, you see her, and the bottom of that peg leg is hollow.
I'm staring down a barrel.
That could be what you're looking at. Happily, she is looking at Gloria. Gloria.
Can I
Oh,
jump
yes,
her?
you can. You can. Yeah. Gloria has drawn everyone's attention. I should let Aina react. So
Yeah.
you're going to leap down
Yeah.
and aim to fall on Molly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine.
So she
What do
can
you
do whatever
think?
she was going to do with her peg leg.
Is that get into a scrap, or is it?
It's probably
Clever
not
trick.
parley.
It's not parley. No.
It's not parley. No, I think it's get into a clever trick.
Clever trick. I think clever trick works because to seize the upper hand.
Yeah.
Leaping on someone from a chandelier is going to give you the upper hand.
Okay. And
then you would have an advantage to
okay.
get into a scrap. Fair enough?
Okay.
If you chose to go that way.
Yeah. I'm sure that the time I got the next roll in, actually, everybody else will have been on her. So I think I'll just go for the scrappy.
Okay.
For the get it to a scrap.
Roll plus blood.
I can spend. Let me see what I can spend here before I roll. I can spend a luck, right?
You can spend a luck to get
to get +1. Okay. Okay.
And
no.
you don't have to do that until after you roll.
Okay. Then I will roll first.
No, luck you have to spend beforehand.
Oh,
yeah.
Bonds you can spend after.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Okay.
2 many resources.
I will spend luck. Come on. Yep. That gives me 10. Actually, with the luck. A good idea to spend the luck here.
Okay, so you hit. Deal your weapons harm, which is just, you really.
I mean, I've got some momentum, right? I mean, I'm dropping from a chandelier.
Yeah, you are. So that's you. So you do that, or half of that, and choose one of the 3 bullet points.
Oh, I can seize something from them. What I will seize whatever is whatever she's got with the peg leg.
I don't, well, do you want to wrench her peg leg
Wrench
from
her
her?
leg off.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Okay,
as I said, I got
okay,
momentum.
okay. So you hit her, knock her to the ground, and
Mhm.
while she's dazed, you tear her peg leg off.
Yep.
Okay, and you have what is called the ante. Ante is like a bond,
Cool.
but it's like a boost in fate. You get a,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And I should remind Callum, you also have a boost. Now, Gloria, you wanted to get people's attention, and you
Yes.
have,
Hmm.
but events have unrolled fairly swiftly down there.
They have.
What, if anything, do you want to do?
Well, let's see. I need to roll Spitfire for that, to unleash that power that I did.
Yeah.
And I get enough that I don't suffer harm from it. Uh, they have the situation under control.
Of
So
course they do.
I I will douse the flame.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I
Can I ask you to roll
Sure,
plus vinegar? Because I'm wondering whether you're going to notice anything else down there. And the size up move
sure.
is to roll plus vinegar. So I'm just curious if you're going to notice something.
So that is a 5.
Well, mark an XP. I think it's fair to say you don't notice anything. You are
Fair.
fixated on the action that has been described. Um, Ishmael, as I said, I want you to mark your vice, which is
Okay.
enthralled. When
It's
enthralled, the fates may compel you to do exciting science at the risk of human life. Endpoint, resist the compel for the sake of the crew. The compel is you need to get that octopus-headed guy back to your laboratory.
yeah. And I also need to get anti-bet to the laboratory as well.
But I mean, she's just a sleeping woman. This is a guy with a head that's part octopus.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to leave you with that choice while we take a
Uh,
5 minute break or
Oh
so.
yeah, 5 minutes.
Can I suggest we're back at the table at 5 past the hour?
Yeah, sure.
Fine. Back from our final commercial break for this session. And I think I come to Gloria first, because Einar has torn the leg from Peg Leg Molly, and Callum has done away with her lackeys. So Gloria,
Callum seems calm.
he seems like he's come down. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. For
Then
now.
I think I am just walking back down the stairs, and kind of heading over to see
At
what
the bottom,
Callum
let me
and
just before you get to
Einar
Callum,
do.
at the bottom of the stairs, three people brush past you, barge past you, frankly, and head up the stairs. Then, sorry, over to you.
Well, that's a problem. So, one of the nice things about activating this power and spending the points is that I have it for the full scene. So, uh, I will I will make it as the stairs are going to immolate, with them coming up. They are not going up those stairs.
Do you want to stop them getting up there, or do you want to catch them in the flame?
I want to stop them going up there, understanding that the cost is probably this being much worse than I wanted it to.
Yeah. So because it seems to me that it would be nice to have a move that told us which of those two things was true. Um, what if we? How do you want to do that? Because it occurs to me that is unleash a power, but we know that you don't
Well,
have to pay for it.
yes, well here the channel of the dark power, uh uh there is a cost on the 7 to 9, and there's a much worse cost on the miss
Oh,
there.
right. Sorry, I hadn't realized.
Yeah.
You've got.
Basically, the if I
Oh,
if I F
yes.
this up, the demon gets to do whatever it wants.
Go for it.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Okay, so I'm rolling plus Spitfire. I'm not spending anything with that. We'll roll with these lovely Kraken dice that I have in my roller. 2d6 plus 2. That's, huh, that's a 6.
Oh, yes.
That's a 1, a 3, and a plus 2 for my vinegar. And I've spent all of my luck. And yeah, I'll mark that XP.
Please do. Please do.
I could potentially help if you wanted, but it sounds like you don't.
I think that the fictional positioning doesn't
Yeah, I'm
open
not
that
sure.
box, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I've effed this up.
So
I've
on a
let the demon
miss,
loose.
take 3 harm, or else the demon can do what it wants for a few seconds.
I'm not marking harm.
Okay. So
Because if I mark 3 harm, I am out.
so this is this your mother that we are releasing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Screaming undead revenant siren.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that she begins to set about the 3 figures on the stairs. Um, uh, Using, just seeking to tear them to shreds. Um, and I think there is enough flame that comes out of this that the staircase does indeed catch light. And the question is, will the ship? Yeah.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. That seems yeah. Let's see how Kayla and Einar and my good friend Ishmael who's upstairs deal with my shenanigans.
With your mother. I mean,
Yes.
mothers. Uh,
Yeah,
so Ish.
Kayla will know what it is.
So Ishmael, will you stand your ground against the urge to take the octopus-faced man back to the goose, or will you comply with my compel?
Like one of the issues I see, like because the compares, not compare the Vice's endpoint says this is the compare for the sake of the crew, and like the problem I'm running into is that Ishmael like, would not like resist like taking the octopus man for like anti-bet because of the crew. Like she would like maybe resist to for herself because she may like sees her anti-bet as more important to reach her grand medical ideals. It would be
That
more
that rationale
resisting,
works.
yes, it would be
So
more resisting for herself than resisting for the crew to be the crew is an afterthought more than anything in this case.
oh no, I mean I think I would say that resisting this compel for the fact that the crew know nothing about the octopus-faced man, but you know that Callum is in search of Auntie Beth. So I'm perfectly allowed for you, willing for you to stand your ground if you want to.
Yeah, I think like the only issue I then intuited that is that Ishmael would be like remember, oh yeah, Calum's also looking for Antibia like after this is not over. Like it would like cross her mind at all. So I'm not sure if that would like
I suppose what I'm saying
help
is,
that.
I am very. You can stand your ground if you want to, or you can take the octopus-faced man. Which of those 2 options?
I think I'm gonna stand back down because I feel like Antibia is going to lead to more shenanigans than the
Okay,
Octopus Man.
okay. So stand your ground. Um, Spend a bond with someone and explain how they're inspiring you to overcome yourself.
Yes, I guess it would be one of my bonds with Callum because
Yeah,
as we discussed, Callum is also looking for Antibet.
he is. He's the member of the crew that is the point of this. So yeah, so you spend that point, and then if the person inspiring you is right here, they're not right here.
No.
Um, you could spend an additional bond for a +1, or otherwise you roll flat.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend one more. Why not? It's end of session.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's do the deep dice. That's an 8.
Okay, so on a hit, you resist a compel. So you can take Auntie Beth. You mark a trouble and give in to the compel, your choice. So it's now down to you. You can either come up with a trouble, and I'm thinking something like exhausted, because she's not a small woman.
Yeah, that. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that could work. Like exhausted. It would.
And you will stay exhausted until you have a scene of peace and quiet and rest. Yeah.
Okay.
So what do we see? You throwing Auntie Beth over your shoulder? Are you dragging her down the stairs? What do we see? You know, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I think what we see is Ishmael kind of just, I guess, to the best of her ability, just hoist up Auntie Beth, throw her over her shoulder, and then just begin the ever so slow but treacherous way back to the goose.
Fine. So down the stairs to where the fire is burning. Fine. That's what I thought.
Actually, yeah, I guess that's my question. Like, would Ishmael like see the fire, like see the smoke?
I think he'll begin to see that once he starts going downstairs.
Yeah, okay, then yeah, Ishmael
Yeah.
begins moving downstairs.
Einar, you have peg leg Molly's peg leg shotgun. What do you do? Oh, you are muted.
Oh, I will move away from Pegleg Molly with the Pegleg Molly's shotgun.
Because
And
she is swearing. She is, she's trying to use the chair to lever herself up onto one leg. She is a very angry pirate captain.
yes, but I have her shotgun leg.
You do.
Might point it in her direction.
You don't know
So,
how important this is.
yeah,
Look
no.
what's happening. And she points over to the stairs.
Yeah, I'm not getting distracted. I'm not falling for that.
Fine.
I up on the right, and I say, nobody likes a sore loser, Molly.
And Callum, what about you? The
So
lackeys are
Callum,
disposed of.
right.
Can I intimidate
Oh.
her so she'll
Oh.
back off?
Well, that is the intimidate here is getting to a scrap, isn't it? Roll plus blood.
Yeah, and I get plus, and I have anti, whatever that means.
You have, which is the equivalent of a bond that you could spend. And I think the logical place to spend it is here and now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, do I need to spend it now or after?
Well,
I can
you can
spend
spend
it
it after.
Okay.
But I don't think it's going to last much
Yeah,
longer.
I know. Well, I got a 10, so I will keep it around just in case,
Just in case. So on a hit, deal half your. It's not really. That's interesting, isn't it? You have deal half your weapons harm and pick one of the following.
She's already taken half my whatever my body is.
Yeah. So I think that's by the by. Because I think that. Well, look, no, I will let you render her unconscious.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. And she is certainly intimidated.
Very good.
Yeah.
So it should be.
Because you wanted to intimidate without necessarily doing any harm, which seems to be the move can't manage.
That's fine. I'm fine with doing some harm. I mean,
yeah,
she jumped me when I won a game of blackjack, which not cool. You know?
Gloria, your mother is making hay on the stairs above. One of them is a particular focus of her attention. One of them is nearer you, and the other one is above, looks back, and begins to run up the stairs.
So, I do not stop my mother. And I'll tell you why, because I opened my eye earlier and I have a compel to let that demonic power loose. So I will be clearing that compel. And
Thank you for that.
I think there is a moment where I kind of look up the stairs and I think that discretion is the better part of valor. And I am trying to get myself to the door. I am getting ready to cheese it.
Ishmael, you're coming down the stairs with Beth on your shoulder. You can indeed now smell some smoke from down there, though the ship is beginning to smoulder. It's so damp down there, I think, that it's unlikely to go up in flames. But you can definitely smell burning, and you can hear someone running up the stairs towards you. What do you do, Ishmael?
Hmm. Let me just quickly go at the game basic moves. Just let's see. Oh, I think perhaps in this situation, I think I might use. Let's see. I think I might spend my luck because it says that you can spend one luck to twist fate and take control of a scene for a crucial moment.
You can spend one
Okay.
luck to add something to scene or pick the following options, blah, blah, blah. Yes.
Okay, it says take control of a scene for a crucial moment. So I guess I'm going to, maybe like outline my thought process, and then you can tell me if that's
Fine.
too much, if that's outside the realm, and then I can figure something else out. So the way I see it, I think like Ishmael like smells the smoke, maybe and sees like the beginning of like maybe like come into the room. Hears like the running up of someone up the stairs, and Ishmael is exhausted like from just carrying a bed. I think Ishmael will just like let out a sight, and I want to like take control of the scene for a moment to I guess establish that maybe because the way like I imagined this like part count to be like this ship, that because it is the part count, so there is a lot of going on about it, that down below they have like there are like people down below, and perhaps there's like I don't want to say hey, but like they like maybe like some people like selling some merchandise down there, and maybe there is like enough of a cushion with just like a little stall with the whole I'm blocking on the word, the
Hammock.
carpet.
Oh,
It,
right.
and
Well,
then
look,
the tunic. What was
when
it?
Einar first arrived here, I said that what they've done is to build a number of platforms over the bilges, so there is lots of water down there.
Wait, as well. Yeah, so
Does that
basically,
help?
yeah, I guess that works. So I'm not gonna like, avoid water, but I guess water also works. So imagining, so you basically want Ishmael to, with a betting tool, just jump out of the window, like just drop from the window down below into like water or like into some other like soft cushion
Okay.
to just avoid
Okay. Well, we'll
this whole
work out
mess.
how soft it is in a moment, won't we? So yeah, no, I'm very happy for you to do that. Now it says twist spake, spend one luck to add something to the scene. Fine. Enough deep water out of the captain's table, out of the captain's cabin window that you won't get hurt. Fine. The fates answers the attached or pick one of the following. No, that doesn't make sense. Does it? You spot a fleeting opportunity within the scene. Now, you spend the luck, and you can leap out of the window into enough water not to do yourself any harm. That seems very reasonable to me.
To be honest, I don't mind taking harm. I just want to avoid the ship.
Okay, well, yeah, take one harm then. Go on,
All
because
right.
it's a drop. A you and Beth drop, but that twist fate move I need to think about doesn't quite hang together for me. Maybe I've miscopied it across. Um, Gloria, Mother is going to have had enough shortly. What do you want to do in the interim? Oh, I'm sorry, Callum. Was that Callum putting his hand up?
It was Callan putting his hand up. I'm
Callum, what
trying
do
to
you want to do?
picture what's happening with Gloria. So did the demon like come out of you and
Oh, that's
they're a
good.
separate entity now
There
outside? They're
is
not.
I think
Yeah.
the demon is made of that same Elmo's fire
Oh,
and
okay.
the horrible song of the siren. I think it's those two things. Uh, and I am
Got it. Okay, thank you.
trying to get out.
Oh, so you're bailing while
Backing
while
off.
she's killing.
She'll be done soon. I'll let her go for now. I'm sure she'll exhaust herself, but I need to get out of here.
Um, so yeah, let's have you
Break out.
break out. Yeah, indeed, break out. Roll
Let's,
plus blood, because you certainly have an opening.
yes.
And what I will tell you, Gloria, is that three groups of lackeys are heading towards you, or towards the stairs, or towards your mother, or to the people on the stairs. You're not sure which.
So, like, that means 3 out of the 4 chances are good for me. There's one of those that's bad.
Exactly.
The other 3 go in different directions that I am blessed to have it happening that way.
You
So
are.
let's see what my blood is. Oh, it's a 0. Interesting. Let's roll for that. Okay, squid dice. Huh. That's a 3.
Oh, oh my. Um,
Even I can't help you with that.
it is clear.
No one
No,
can
no,
help.
no. It is clear that they think you're responsible for what's happening to their captains.
Okay.
They are converging on you at pace.
I cry out for help.
Callum, you see what's happened, right?
Help!
If it's any condolences, Ishmael can patch Glory up.
Can patch you up later.
So,
We'll
Callum,
find out.
there is a stampede of 3 groups of lackeys who look a dangerous bunch. One lot are very well dressed. One of them are clearly drunk out of their hair, out of their minds, and one of them looks very competent.
Uh-huh. Those are 3 individuals or 3 groups?
3 groups of lackeys.
3 groups, and they're all headed for Gloria.
Yes, because they have clearly pinned that whatever is happening to their captains on that staircase is down to Gloria's song.
All right.
Einar, do you want to think about what you're going to be doing as well? Because you're going to see that as well. But Callum first.
I'm just taking a look at my moves right now to see if there's anything that jumps out at me, other than the obvious. No, I don't think that would work. Sorry, and then I've got to go to basic moves. Yeah, I don't think I have anything to do except take the most direct route towards Gloria. I think so. They're converging on her.
Yes. They have identified her as the source of the problem on the staircase.
And she's headed for
She was
the exit,
about to head for the door,
but now she's
when
trapped somehow.
she's trapped against the bottom of the staircase, unless she can come up with a clever trick. Or you could come up with a clever trick. I don't know.
Right. And her mother is raging.
Is on the staircase. There is one of these captains halfway up the stairs between Gloria and her mother. Her mother is taking chunks out of a second captain, and a third captain has disappeared further up the staircase out of sight.
Right. Okay. Because I am committed, yes, to protecting Gloria, but also to protecting her from herself. Then I don't know what that means when it comes to her mother. Whether it means trying to stop her mother as well. I have a lot on my plate right now. I think all I can think to do right now is head towards Gloria and protect her. I can't intercept all 3 groups at once, but I can.
Well, unless you use a clever trick to get past them.
Oh, what's that? Oh, that's a move, a clever trick.
A
Oh, I
clever
see.
trick. Or
I'm not very
them.
smart though.
Yeah.
I have an idea. I have an idea for a clever trick.
Einar, clever trick time.
Yeah, because things are happening, and I will shake the
You're
peg
much
leg
cleverer than I am.
and yell at them. It was her, and point at Molly. It was her. She did it. She wanted to get the captain's chair. It's true.
This sounds like hoodwink to me.
Yeah.
Roll plus polish.
Can I use my ante here?
Yes, you can, because I think you are in a position of dominance over Molly at the moment, and that gives you a degree of status in the room.
Cool. Yeah, but it's a 4, it's a 5. No, I don't think so. I don't think they believe me.
Wait, I have a move that allows me to add 2 to somebody else's.
Oh, well,
Oh,
do tell us about it.
Let's see. It's called Heart of Gold.
oh,
Oh, do I have a bond with you, Einar, anymore? I don't know.
I don't know
Like,
if you spend it.
I know I do have one. I do have one.
Yay, cool.
So it says the move, spend 1 bond with your crewmate and accomplish one of these effects. And it says lend them all of your might and add 2 to their roll. You may do this before or after rolling. So somehow I would need to
How
lend
do
my
you lend
might.
them your might? And that could be your presence.
Your presence,
It
yeah.
needn't be a physical expression of might unless you really wanted to.
When what you're doing is trying to convince them that she
Yeah.
is the enemy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That is Molly's fault. I mean, you could just agree, right? Like, oh gosh, what an awful woman or something.
Yeah, maybe he jumps
Oh
in and
my!
she's the one, and he's kind of like, oh, and I'm trying to act like I'm horrified by Molly, so threatened by Molly because she's the monster.
That works for me.
I saw her
So
come out of her.
Einar, does that 2 help?
Yeah, that gets me to 7.
Okay.
Not great,
So
but it worked.
on a hit, they've bought your story for now. The
That's
Fates
that.
reveals a new opening or opportunity this gives you. Well, I think this is an opportunity to signal Gloria to move now. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I think it still requires you to break in or break out.
Let's see here.
Or I tell you what, I'd let you do it just to take a trouble. You can either roll or just accept a trouble and be out.
Oh, I think I'll accept trouble.
Okay, let's see what this is. I think I'm going to put you indebted.
I will also offer you, because I've let the demon out, it would seem reasonable for me to take bedeviled.
Oh, yes. Yes. You're bedeviled, but yes. Hit
Come on,
that
Mother, we're
twice.
leaving.
Oh, wow. Okay. While bedeviled, you are compelled to do as your demon says. If it asks you to do something nasty to a crewmate, do it willingly to mark 1 experience. If you resist the compel, pick from the list of sacrifice. Fine. I'm going to let Mother come with you.
Yes.
But she's going to have the upper hand for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So you disappear. They
Out
turn
the
back.
door.
And where'd she go? And then one of them, one of the captain who's between you and your mother, who was between you and your mother, turns and says, take her, and points at Molly. And the one who's kind of been subject to your mother's depredations stumbles a bit and begins to make his way up the stairs, pursued by the 3rd captain. Einar, Callum, do you stay or do you go? Because now the attention you have drawn on Molly, so these lackeys are now heading in your direction.
I'm looking at Callum and saying, this place is boring. let's find somewhere better.
Time to go?
Yep, I think so.
I'm just looking at the chat and Callum has asked, we're not getting the plate, ...
I don't know about the plate.
No, exactly. So Callum, this is only you, Gloria, and you know specifically about the plate, I think. Or did
I thought it was Gloria's. It was Gloria's. I knew she was after something. She did tell us.
Yeah, she told Ishmael and Callum about the plate.
Well, yeah. Ishmael's in the water outside the boat, so that
Ishmael fucked off.
They all bailed, and the stairwell is on fire.
The fact that Ishmael ran past the plate to leap out of the window with Beth is sadly true.
I like to imagine that in a scene where Ishmael is not carrying Beth to the window to jump off, there's a moment where a split second where Ishmael stopped, looked at the plate, and just continue to follow the window.
So Callum, you do know about the plate.
Yes,
Do you want to
but
do anything with that information?
I think Einar is saying that we need to get out of here. So I think Callum is going to bow to Einar's wisdom in this matter. And
Anna
since
doesn't know about the plate, so
No,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think I see the three of you outside um, as Ishmael is wading out of the water with
and
a
where's mommy?
woman over his shoulder, and Callum, it is Auntie Beth. I am interested, Gloria. Are you giving up on the plate?
think
You're,
so.
you know,
I think I am one to cut my losses. Uh, uh, and it was a possible transaction. I made no promises to Bell. It was a possible exchange, and we'll regroup.
And
so I
so
think.
what we're
Oh,
seeing, are we seeing mommy come out with us?
oh
Oh,
yeah.
I think I have drawn. I probably see me like open my mouth. You hear some of the song come from my throat, and that spectral fire goes into my. I breathe that in.
But of
And I think
course,
Caleb
Mummy,
comes straight up to you and grabs you by the shoulders. Are you all right? What has
as
she done?
as Gloria opens her mouth to answer, inside you see a pair of burning eyes. No, she's mad.
uh,
Doing this then, as if to say, we should go. We could talk about this later.
So Callum, I'm guessing you may take Auntie Beth off Ishmael's shoulder because
Oh, do we
Ishmael is
find Ishmael?
exhausted. Ishmael waded out of the water as you emerged from the Scaravia, the boat. Um,
Ishmael, you found her. That's the one.
Ishmael just gives you like a deadpan look, looks at the boat and fire, get back at you, and just goes to say something, but just bites her tongue. It just shakes her, continues marching with Auntie-Beth in tow.
Now, I am curious whether this is enough to take you back to the Goose and to round up the crew and make a swift exit? Or are you going to stay in town and deal with the consequences of events?
Still need to
still
find
didn't
out this
talk to
stuff.
Threadbare Roger,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we still need to find out about the treasure.
I know, I know.
The
Well,
treasure?
now,
You mean at the end of season one after the credits cliffhanger?
Oh my gosh. Uh, I will say my vote is for us to leave, but I will defer to others and especially to our navigator.
Navigator, what are you thinking?
I think I mean, we burned down the leader's boat. They're in disarray, right? They're not unorganized people. They might think it was Molly. I still have the peg leg, by the way. Um,
There is probably
Yeah.
the sound of a fracas from within. There is
yeah,
fighting, I think, probably going on.
I mean, maybe we should just grab the opportunity that we have right now, try to find him,
I,
promise him some shit, and
if you want to go and talk to him and find him, fine. I need to at least return to the boat to
okay.
get healed up, and there's some other issues that I need to deal with. And I suspect that Ishmael and Caleb probably want to take their guest back to the boat so we can have a conversation, right?
Yes, our guest. Our guest. And he's following Ishmael.
But agreed, we're not leaving port.
Okay, now I suggest that's where we tie up this episode.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
then
I'm not going on my own to
no,
find
no, no,
Threadbare
no, no,
Roger
no.
into the
And I don't think we're
city.
going to get enough done this evening to
Yeah,
make that a
yeah,
worthwhile
yeah.
continuation. And it also leaves me time to do what I think is the end of chapter move.
Mhm.
So hang on, end of chapter. Um, at the end, ask the group, have you defeated an important foe, claimed a great treasure, or accomplished one of your crew's goals this session? Who wants to pitch one at me?
I mean,
Well,
got
one of my
anti-bet.
goals
Oh,
was to get Auntie Beth.
Auntie Beth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then this is the end of a chapter. And at the end of the chapter, each PC replenishes all their bonds and then chooses two of the same or the same one twice from that list.
Now, before anyone thinks about taking heals to harm, I will just like to propose that you can let Ishmael do that for you. I'm sure there won't be no
I tell
side
you,
effects.
I mean, we could defer this till the start of next time, and then because I'm just Ishmael. Is there any chance your healing doesn't work?
Let's see, surgery. If I miss, the surgery works but goes early, the patient takes a terrible side effect in the form of a trouble of the face choice with the end point, remove whatever the surgery did to you and take one harm.
Yeah.
Okay,
So if it
so
doesn't work, I essentially
well, look, with that on
the
the
ad harm.
table, I think I leave it to the three of you to decide whether you want to take the two harm,
Hey,
heal
hey
two
Arnold,
harm.
hey Arnold, would you let Ishmael take the eye?
The what now?
You let Ishmael
No,
take the
no,
eye?
no. I have a burned hand, not a burned eye. My eye. You got one. Take
I
one
know.
from
I'm
take one
I'm
from Gloria. She has very fascinating eyes.
I'm going to suggest that we have this conversation at the start of next time rather than the end of
Sure.
this time,
No,
because I think we could be here a while having that conversation.
So the cutscene is us kind of stumbling across the dock of the
It
pier
is.
towards the
Mhm.
goose
Yes.
with
Yeah.
Auntie
Auntie
Beth.
Beth in
yeah.
tow.
I
And
like just to
bickering.
point
Well,
out
I will.
that. Oh, go
Go on.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that I like to point out like as we like see the four of us like imagine the camera like is positioned so like we don't see like us in full detail, we like see the shadows and like the dark as the moon shines upon us, and that Ishmael is carrying Auntie Beth like and does not let Callum carry her.
Ooh, right. And Gloria cast two shadows.
Yes. I
And I
think
have
for
a
the
peg leg.
You have a peg leg.
I think
Yes.
for the end of chapter, I'll go ahead and mark 2 XP for my
Fine.
choice on that.
Fine. So it's your choice, folks. If you want to hang
Mhm.
on and have Ishmael do your harm next time, that's fine. Otherwise, pick one of the others or a combination of the others.
And how does harm recover? Does it recover on its own eventually?
I'm not sure it does, hang on.
Because what happens if you don't have a surgery? I mean, it
Harm,
has to, right?
recovery at the end of a restful downtime.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
You have the option to heal all the harm accrued in your previous adventures. If you have a few hours to spare, you can use any equipment with a heal X harm tag. And some playbooks offer. So it would require a restful downtime.
Okay. I'm fine. I just got a burnt paw. I don't need that.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, we'll pick up on that one next time.
mhm.
Quick stars and wishes. Jose, any stars, any wishes?
Yes. So much fun today. Alan, I'll start with you. I mean, you're just masterful at keeping a very complex combat situation in your head and orchestrating us, conducting us, I should say, in such a masterful way. So thank you so much for that. And also, I really love all your establishing questions when we enter new places and when we're having interactions with NPCs, and you ask these great kind of evocative questions of us. So amazing. Dom, my favorite part was the sleeping gas, and that was very the image of it, and Auntie Beth and the cultist going down to the sleeping gas was awesome. Sabine, I loved the swashbuckling on the chandelier and the grabbing the tearing the peg leg off Molly. I thought that was beautiful. Lowell stars. I really liked our first scene what between our two characters, where you immediately established kind of the relationship between our two characters in such a clear way that was
Mhm.
really powerful. And then I loved the eye and the waking up
Eh,
of your mom. And
mm.
so all of that was fabulous. I don't know that I have any wishes right now. I was happy to be able to have scenes at least to do a little bit of RP between characters. So maybe I haven't actually had that much with Einar, so maybe next time I can have something with Einar.
Fair enough.
That's me.
Dom, any stars, any wishes?
That's not just what starts. I'm going to echo what Jose said about Alan. I really like enjoy the way like you ask questions to like help flesh out details and allow like us to put our own spin or our own little tidbits into the world and its inhabitants. That's always a pleasure to see whenever I play with you. Let's go in turn. Jose, I really enjoyed how you had like Callum interact with Ishmael at the beginning and basically invite Ishmael to take part in a little quest to find anti-bet us. I guess like finding the location also helps with Ishmael's goal as we established, but I always enjoyed that whenever a player like invites another player character to partake in their own personal quest. So that was fun. For lower starts to already mentioned the waking up your mother in the hall, fighting the ship in the Pirates Council, but I'm gonna bring a bit of attention to the scene with Belle and just like trying to like establish, I guess, like some sort of rapport to gain from it. I'm blanking on the correct terminology to use, but yeah, but it's essentially that whole Agud is showing us how, I guess, I guess, I'm not gonna say mischievous, but
Yep.
I'm sure there's a better word for that. In just like trying to get a favors so she can cash them in later for her own gain. Enjoyed seeing that, but I've heard Akieto with emphasis to sadly that didn't pan out too well. Maybe next time Gloria should tell us why she needs something instead of just saying, hey, I need something.
I don't think
But
telling you why I needed it would have helped at all. Like
yeah,
if we really review the tapes there, so
yeah, Ishmael would, even then Ishmael wouldn't care. But anyhow, I have the quick examples. And Sabine, I enjoy like the scene of Einar in like the gambling den and just like first time playing blackjack and just raking it all in and immediately making an enemy out of the one character that would have helped us so much.
Yeah, great choice. Great choices. Any wishes for next time?
Any vicious? I guess because we're like staying at port already established, I guess my wishes were to maybe get into actual like, contact with Threadbare, what was his name?
Roger.
Threadbare Dodger. And I thought I see maybe like a scene with Auntie Beth now that she's at captive.
Yeah, yeah.
Besides that, I don't think I had any other wishes.
Okay. Lowell, any stars, any wishes?
yeah. Again, I echo Jose. I really enjoyed the moment there with Caleb, getting to see him in action, playing out those the fact that that those conditions are a real kind of key element of your character. I thought that was very cool. For Ishmael, I really liked like when it came that the compel was that you wanted to get that person back to your table. I like that was really interesting because it's a nice turn from our expectation of the healer there. So I really like that. Alan, it really, as Jose said, very good managing of the combat flow and lots of different pieces and things going in different directions and such. Uh, uh, like that was really good. I also was pleased because I got to use a bunch of my different moves and abilities and try different things and have them go terribly wrong. So that was good. Always like that when it can have an exercise on that. Uh, so I like it. This game is it's amusing to me because it's so Baroque. Like it is so there's so many moves. It's so wildly different from like we've seen a lot of PBTA kind of strip things down quite a ways, and it's really interesting to see a game that adds a bunch of stuff and has a lot of fractal cascading things in it. And the thing about this goes in this direction, but this goes in this direction for these moves. Also, I kind of love that. So, wishes wise, I don't think I have anything specific, except I do want to see how to uh, work with the, figuring out the clearing of the vice and that
Yeah,
bit. So that's all I have to say.
thank you. And finally, Sabine, any stars, any wishes?
Yeah, so all around was a fun session. I had very piratey vibes here with this ramshackle town, I guess. And I liked the personal scene with Gloria and Callum. I especially loved Gloria at the end, like, no, cutting my losses, I'm getting out. Help!
Mm.
I love the voice you do for Gloria. Oh, that is a lot of fun. I also loved Ishmael being like, nope, this is yeah, fine, tentacles, who cares? Everything has tentacles now. I want this one. This one is interesting. I really like that. That the whole way she was so focused on her own thing, right? Even walking through the inn, like when stuff was going on, like, is that interesting? Okay, that's mildly amusing, and I'm moving on. And I also love Callum just like raging out and hitting things and being like a like a um yeah, I don't know the English word for it. I apologize. But like something very big that hits things very hard. So, but which is pretty, and also, but I also like the Heart of Gold move that he is actually willing to help out everybody, and that's also what's enraging him. And I liked seeing all the different temptations move and seeing all the different powers and stuff like move. So that was also fun, and I like this our landlocked episode, which where I noticed that as a navigator you don't get to use many of your moves
Yeah.
because they're all sea bound, which is fine. That's fine. We will get back to the sea. And I also that's the wish. I want to turn into a narwhal at some point where it's vaguely appropriate. I was thinking about it in the belly of the
Yeah, well,
ship.
I have to say I deliberately put some water down there just in
Yeah,
case you wanted to do your
yeah,
things.
yeah. I would
So,
have if things had gone even wronger than they
Yeah.
have. I would have done that. Yeah,
oh,
just for the giggles.
Callum wants to talk to fishes as well. So, Einar
What?
changes into a fish. Callum talks to them.
Yeah,
RP at its best. Stars from me. Thanks for throwing yourself at this episode. It was, I mean, Jose, you put something in the chat between sessions about, Pirates of the Caribbean. How are we going humorous here? And while I think overt, there were aspects of farce in that session. I think is what I would say, which was great, and everyone went with that with in good heart. Sabine, thanks for your patience when you failed to escape and you allowed me to just leave you hanging, literally, until the others caught up. Lowell, thanks for two things really. One for keeping an eye on the rules, always good to have. But also, your mother is a real character. The more I'm quite encouraged we'll see more of your mother next time. Um, and Dom, yeah, the difficult question: do I take the octopus-headed person or do I take the one that we said we needed? Don't know. And Jose, yeah, it is. It is. I mean, the picture of Callum up there is this brooding, you know, volcano waiting to explode, but he has got a heart of gold. It's a really nice playbook, I think. So all that was great for me. Next time, I think we'll try to find out what you need to find out about the chest, see where that takes us. So we're looking at next time building towards a climactic finale of some description. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which might involve narwhales and stuff. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also,
Is it okay if I post this?
Yes.
yeah.
Thank
I
you very
also have,
much.
I also have
Thanks.